Okay, so we started our journey of understanding our biases, psychological biases or emotional biases we have in our brain, and it's been inbuilt. We can't. We just need to learn about them and build a tools to avoid those biases. First thing is awareness of those biases is more important. So we started this journey of understanding biases, how, why it is so important in investing world. In investing world, it's 95% psychology and 5% your intelligence. So that's the reason it's very, very important to learn this psychology part, human emotions part of the world. Otherwise, it may it may bring a lot of uh, traps, and we will be fall into the traps of these biases, and we may do mistakes and we may lose money in the future. So that's the reason we started this psychological biases and understanding them, um, uh, and see how you could make aware of those biases, and sometimes you could also build tools to overcome those biases. For example, last week I was telling example of IKEA store biases, all the traps, psychological traps that they may have in those stores. One tool you could build is that you could order online, so you avoid it completely visiting IKEA to not fall trap of those. Or if you know that casinos and bars have so much biases, especially auction houses, then you could simply avoid them because you know that it's psychological traps. Likewise, you could build such tools to overcome those biases. So that's the idea of going through this biases. So there are 100 plus biases in our brain. Again, these biases are been inbuilt as part of human evolution. So this is not something you can't avoid, or you can't take a pill and get overcome. Maybe in future when we have nanotechnology that can control our brain, I don't know. Maybe they probably build some tools against these biases, but as of now, we have to live with these biases for another some decades until this artificial intelligence and this inbuilt memory chips that are going on. But until then, we have to live with these biases, and we need to. I would not. We would not be covering all 100 plus biases. I would leave this to you, and you need to explore them. But I would cover top 10, 10 to 15 biases um, that we would that we need to be watchful of during the investing life, when we are dealing with money and finance. These biases are very, very important. So so I would just re- remind you what we talked in last two weeks. First, we talked about instant gratification versus delayed gratification. That's also human psychology. And we talked about system one and system two thinking. How your system one could make certain things, and how that how you need to be aware of system one, how you should enforce yourself to use system to time for big decisions. So that's something we talked about. And then the third bias we talked about is the IKEA effect. So we saw how different um, psychological traps we have with the IKEA effect. So these are the biases we talked. Now I'm going to social comparison bias. I know this is very sensitive bias, and I fall in trap of it mm, all my life. It's only recently I came out of this bias. So I know we all fall into this bias. This bias comes, I think you by the name can recognize it's a social comparison. We are comparing ourselves with others. Okay, so social comparison can come in multi dimensions. It could be looks, feel, or it could be the status comparison. It could be how big house, a car, and how nice car, how nice clothes, how much jewelry the other person. So it can compare. It can come. It could be fitness, it could be a family. The comparison comes in many dimensions, but I don't want to go to those comparison. The comparison I would like to give is the financial comparison. So I see many of the people does this comparison against financial side. So b- social comparison is all around us. It's very difficult to avoid because we are part of the society. We are not living in jungle, or we are not living in forests. We are living in society. We live with people. We would always face this comparison on daily basis. So this is something uh, we all face it on daily basis, and we need to see how you could you know overcome this and understand, okay, I'm falling into social comparison bias, and I would not gain much by falling into this trap. So let me build or think of things that would overcome the social comparison. Maybe I'll take the example of social media that gives you a very good idea. We are using some or other kind of social media platforms, and especially social media companies are using social comparison bias as a big tool against us. That's If you see all these big social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, all these social media platforms, they use a social comparison bias tools. For example, I don't know if you know this or not. This like button, the thumb up like button of Facebook innovation, they bought them billions of dollars because all of a sudden they could introduce the social comparison into the platform, and many people joined the platform to compare themselves to others, and all of a sudden Facebook popularity became more, and then they started become dominant social media platform. So this is one of the tool Facebook is using, and they are using quite such tools on daily basis against us to make a lot of money. So in general, this is very good example of social comparison bias used by social media platforms, and you all aware of this, right? I myself fall into those traps, and you also probably fall into such traps of comparing yourself to others, and you want to see how many people likes you in a given post, how many people likes your picture, whatever you posted it on the social media platform. So this is one of the psychological bias, because we as a human, we always want to compare with our peers, and then we always fall into trap. And similarly, if nobody is liking us, not following us, then we feel bit bad about it, and we feel psychologically something wrong, or people doesn't like my picture or doesn't. So this is just to give you a real example of how social comparison bias is used against us by these social media platforms. And how do you avoid this, right? How do you avoid is, I don't say that you should exit those social media platforms. At least you should be aware of this, and try to not fall into the trap of this comparison mode. Um, and another big social comparison happens in Indian environment. We see this often. I see this after I learned about this social comparison bias. When I go to Indian functions, it could be marriage or any celebration, I see it's actually it's actually a area, or in this function there is many comparisons that are happening. I feel petty when I looked at the people around me. So for example, they compare what kind of dresses they are wearing, they compare what kind of car they drove in, they compare how much wealth they have, and all these things. It's And some people fall in trap, for example, some people who doesn't have enough money, they feel bad that they are still not, so this is this some platforms, some like like the social media platforms, similarly functions, celebrations also brings this social comparison into the stage, and we always compare with others, and then we fall into the trap. It could be anything, right? If it is a woman, they are comparing jewelry, or saris they wore, and if it is men, they are comparing how much, money this guy made, or that what car he's driving, what kind of whatever, so this is and this is happening in our life. It happens every day in India. All the functions that we see, they and people who are not aware of this bias, they fall into the trap of this. For example, I've seen many of my family members who saw that one of their other family member doing big celebrations, they want to do the similar celebration because they are comparing. They fall into the trap of social comparison, and they borrow a lot of money, and then they celebrate it, and then they would not able to make it. They would not able to make that borrowed money, or they would not able to pay the borrowed money. Then they sell their valuable assets. It could be lands, or it could be house, or so this is just because they want to show that they are better than others. When they are comparing, they end up borrowing more money and playing with their real assets versus this social bias comparison. I don't know, does this make sense? Do you also realize this is something you see around you, or
Yeah,
so?
it hap- Yeah,
Yep.
you fall into the
Yeah,
traps.
quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So
We see it in like different. If someone gets a new cricket bat, or maybe a new iPad or phone or Apple
Also
Watch
at
or something
school,
like
it
that.
happens. And for anything at school, if somebody else gets better grades than you, then
Yeah.
exactly. So this is something we all face it. So one way to overcome is, at least one way to look at is, you don't need to compare with anybody. You need to compare for yourself. You compare yourself from yesterday's to today, or you compare yourself from last month to this month, or last year to this year. This is how I am avoiding this comparison bias, because I also fall into this trap of comparison. Not anymore. One way I am avoiding this is, I would not compare with anybody. I compare myself. For example, if I want to be healthy, I compare myself how much workouts I did last year versus this year, last week, this week, last month, this month. I don't compare with somebody else. Okay, oh, that guy is doing too much workouts, I should do more than him. I don't do that. That's one thing. Second thing, same with wealth, money. You don't need to compare with others, because every day somebody else would be making more than you. You can't I mean, you would never able to be happy if you start comparing. So best way to avoid that is, you would say, okay, how much I earned last year comparing to this year, how much I have improved. Is I'm improving or degrading? So that's the tool. I build it myself. I suggest you also use this tool to overcome. This is not easy bias. It's a very toxic bias. It's very difficult to overcome. It takes some practice. You can't just switch a flip and overcome this bias. I can tell from my experience, it took me some months to overcome this bias. So one tool is, you compare yourself. You don't care about, see, somebody else would always be smarter than you. Somebody else is always be fitter than you. Somebody else is always beautiful than you, or handsome than you, or somebody else would have always more toys than you. So you don't need to compare. All that you need to compare is yourself. Is I'm getting better at what I'm doing? Is I'm working? Is I'm doing? Is I'm applying a delayed gratification, and is I'm in the right path? Is I'm improving or degrading? So that's the thing you need to compare. It could be grades, or it could be your health, or it could be wealth, or happiness, or anything. So that's one tool I would suggest for all of you, to compare yourself from yesterday's to today's, to avoid this bias. Second thing I've seen, this interesting observation on somewhere I read, this one is that, let's say you saw a Ferrari Lamborghini car, and you see that, oh, look at this guy, he has a Lamborghini Ferrari. But if you are looking only one dimension of that guy's life, right? You are looking, that's he's showing that Ferrari and Lamborghini. It could be anything. You may be looking at fitness boy or girl. He is very healthy, and he has six pack or whatever. He has zero fat, whatever. So you are only comparing one quality. You should also compare all their qualities in their life. Do they have a healthy family? Do they have a healthy life? Do they eat good? Do they, maybe this guy is driving have owning a Lamborghini, but you don't know how much loan he has, how much money he borrowed. Maybe he's working 18 hours a day, so he screwed up his health and family. So, do you really want such life? So, you should, when you ask for such life, you should also ask all other qualities, just not the Ferrari or Lamborghini. That's also something quite useful in my case. When I start using this tool, I realized I don't want so much whatever that I'm comparing with, when I compare all other qualities of the other person, or group of people, because then I realize soon they are focusing on only one thing. Sometimes they are only focusing on making money or creating a lot of money, but then they screwed up their health and wealth, health and family. I don't want to have such life. So this is another tool I would suggest. Don't just compare one angle of one quality of one person with others. Always compare all the other things. Would you really replace his place if you have been given a chance? Would you take his position? You may get a Lamborghini, but you also need to get his screwed up health, and you should also get their his screwed up family. Do you really want such life? So that's, when you do such comparison, then you usually say that, no, no, I don't want such life. I'm happy with whatever I am, and my family and all friends I have. So these are the two tools I would recommend to use to overcome this social comparison bias. In investing finance world, I see many, 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 because I'm using many, 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 because I see this, all my friends and family members fall into this trap. Social comparison. Oh, that guy bought that car, so why I'm not buying it? And then this guy's will go and take extensive loans and buy this car, and okay, that guy has a villa and whatever. I'm just giving you examples, but I've seen all my friends fall into this trap, and this is one thing you should watch out. Okay, I see a question. Arish, you want to ask something?
Yes. What are the two tools again? I didn't write them
Yeah,
down.
the first tool I would suggest is, yeah, I try to put it here in this slide. First tool is, you always compare yourself from yesterday's to today, or from last month to this month, or last year to this year, rather
Mhm,
than comparing with others. It could
mhm,
be, let's say, if I'm comparing health, okay, in order to be a healthier, uh, uh, is I'm doing better exercise comparing to last week to this week, is I'm doing better workouts comparing to last year to this year,
yeah.
rather than me comparing with some model who has six pack and looks handsome.
Mhm,
Does not help me, right?
yeah.
That's one tool. Second tool is, when you are comparing with others, don't just compare one quality, compare their whole life. Would you take his whole life, and would you swap your life with his life, if you have been given chance? When you compare all the things they have in their life, then you would realize soon that you don't want his life or her life, because you don't want to screw up the health, or the family the way the other guy has screwed up, right? So
Mhm,
that's another tool. Just don't compare only one quality of the person, and fall into the social comparison bias trap. You compare the whole life. Would you really have his whole life? If you have been given a choice of swapping because you liked this particular quality, then you would soon realize, no, 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 I don't want to swap, because I may get this quality, but then with that quality I'm getting nine others screwed up life qualities which I don't like to have in my life, right? So
yeah.
this two tools is helpful for me to come out of this bias. So you could also use it. So since I learned about this bias, I'm always comparing myself rather than with others. Is I'm getting better at whatever I'm doing, right? So,
Mhm. Thank you.
yeah. Okay. So, again, interesting thing about the psychological bias is you don't have formulas. I can't give you homework. It's observation. You need to observe the environment around you and just try to build, observe when you attend a function next time in India or anywhere. You just observe how people are being compared, or how people are looking at the things, or maybe you can look at your friends. You would easily observe, okay, that guy fall into the social comparison bias, so he got a mood off because some of his friend got a good toy. It could be cricket bat, or it could be uh, iPod, or it could be his father driving a very good car, whatever, right? Then you realized, okay, this guy mood off is because of this social comparison bias trap that he fall into. Okay, so that's, in finance world, as I was telling you, we always have a social influence. So, for example, uh, some things we would always see it, right? When you see a person house, you would see he's living in a nice house, big house, nice house, spacious house. Or if you're a person driving a nice car, you would see it, okay, this guy is driving a nice car. And I see many of them fall into trap of such comparison. Okay, by this one another would go and see, okay, I should also go and buy nice car, I should also go and buy nice big house, or I should also go and do whatever to get that. And then they start borrowing money. They go extensively borrow to the neck, whatever the eligibility they have to borrow money, they get all the money and then try to buy all these things which they think that should be in their life. So that's social comparison bias. I've seen that many of people fall into the trap. Then after some time they realize they can't pay so much debt, or they can't pay so much loan amount or interest amounts. All of a sudden they lost the job, so they can't bear the loans they took, and then they end up selling those assets, or end up selling those things just to pay back the loans, etc. So any other questions before we switch to next topic? I would say out of all the biases we talked, this is one of the top five biases, I would say. Social comparison is very, very, very it's very difficult to overcome, and it's very easy to fall trap of. So it's a very mm, very important bias that you need to remember and practice. Compare, sorry, observe around you and try to learn and remember how people are falling the trap of these biases. And once you realize how others are falling trap of the biases, then you are learning from their mistakes, right? That's also important. You don't need to pee on electric fence to know that you get electric shock. If somebody else already did it, you don't need to fall on the same trap, right? So similarly, this biases, you don't need to fall into the trap once you start observing others how they are falling trap of it, and then how you can overcome it. So in finance investing world, this is very important bias, because when you are investing, you always compare yourself with others. Okay, that guy got high returns, let me go and take more risk, or let me borrow money and I want to also get high returns, or I want to buy more of something, then you all of a sudden fall into the trap of social comparison, and then you would screw up the investing decisions. So these biases, we will take some examples. I'm talking these biases individually, but these biases happens all together in our life. So when we as a human walking around, this social comparison bias versus instant gratification, delayed gratification, system one, system two thinking, all this happening at one time. It's called a Lalapuzza effect. It's called everything is happening in one go. It's not happens like now you are social comparison, then you are system one, system two, now instant gratification, delayed No, in our daily life, we always having all these influences at same time. So this is something you need to remember. You don't get one another bias in one specific instance. These are all happening all at simultaneously in our life. So it's very difficult to uh, you know track and overcome them unless you start observing and reflecting on these biases. Is I'm sounding a bit scary, or uh, uh, does this make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it does make sense, but does it mean just that you mean be happy with what you have?
Yes, yes, exactly. Be happy with what you have. I'm now sounding like a philosopher, but it's not at all philosophy. It's also it's also part of bias. So be happy with what we have, and then if you want to have more of it, then work towards it, rather than wasting time on comparison. I seen myself, I got moved off couple of days because I compared with somebody, and that couple of days I lost my time and energy, right? I was not spending happy life with my family, and then not spending a good quality time at my work because I got mood off when I compared. So it's also waste of our energies when we fall into such traps. You should realize it. Say yourself, it's not any useful for me, so why should I bother about it? Let's park this and let's move on. I compare it myself and then I will move on. Okay, so in finance world, this biases makes very important roles, but also in your personal life this biases makes important role. Okay, so next we'll go to status quo bias. Status quo bias also something, we as a human, we don't change our previous status. That's very difficult as a human. So for example, you took some decision of something, and if somebody else come and walk you through whatever decision you made and they show you this is wrong, then your status quo bias would come into play and say that, oh, I took this decision after so much analysis and whatever, then I don't want to change my decision. you know so these pictures give you very good example for sorry, not sure. If you see here, this guy is been doing this whatever shoveling with this not small shovel, and this other guy comes and ask him, hey, maybe you need better tool, so should can I offer you this big shovel instead of the small whatever spoon you are using to shovel this? But our status quo bias would come into picture. We are not it's a cost of change. We don't want to change our decision, and we are biased against our previous decision. And it's also we prefer doing this way, right? So we end up doing that, and we would never change it. That's and this is very good example here, right? These guys, they are pulling something with a rectangle uh, wheel, and then this guy offered, hey, maybe you need a circular wheel that would help you to. But these guys are fall into the status quo bias. They are too busy, they don't want to change, and they don't want to be the changes comes with uh, some kind of result, right? It could be good or it could be bad, and many people don't want to take do changes because they think of bad things that may happen because they do some changes of whatever the decision they took before, right? So the status quo bias is also one of the important bias we all fall into the trap. Let me give a live example from my life. One of my friend, when he was a kid, he always used to say he wants to become a doctor. Okay, so is and we know he got influenced by his parents. His parents was always saying, oh, we want you to become a doctor. Then this guy, he when he comes and play with us, he always used to say, I want to become a doctor. Okay, very good. We used to have we he used to always say that he wants to become a doctor. When he went into college, he did really bad in his physics and biology subjects. Those are the building blocks for one to become a doctor, right? But because this guy has the status quo bias and his parents also had status quo bias, his parents were always saying that our son would become a doctor, whatever, to their relatives and their friends. So his father went and paid a payment seat for the medicine. And I remember when we were in college, we told, hey, we had a discussion with our friend and we told him, hey, you did not score well in physics and biology, and those are the building blocks for becoming a good doctor. and you would never get a seat. Why do you still want to become a doctor? Maybe it's time for you to change your decision, or your thinking, and go to the different profession. But because he fall into the status quo bias, he's been telling us that he wants to become a doctor all his life, since childhood, and all his parents always talked about doctor. Then he said, no, 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 I want to become a doctor at any cost. Then what did his father do? He borrowed a lot of money and paid payments. It costed back then, this is 21, 22 years ago, it costed around 200,000 Danish kron for him to get that seat. And then he struggled in his medicine, and he was failing couple of years. He's supposed to finish the medicine education in 5 years, but he took 8 years. It's obvious, right? He was not good at science. He should have changed the decision, but because of status quo bias, he never changed the decision, and he followed through this medicine. And after finishing medicine, he would never able to get the master's PG medicine seat, because with MBBS, just a medical degree would not help to find a good job or good profession in India. So they have to do masters. And I sit with him time to time, and I ask him, are you happy with whatever you did? Then he always says it was the bad decision. He is still not happy. But that's a status quo bias trap, because he's been told he would become doctor, and he's always been telling to his friends in his childhood he will become a doctor. And then he fall into this trap, and he's not happy about his profession. But so that's one of the example. I've seen many such examples. People fall into status quo bias, and then they don't change the decision. I myself right now fall into this trap. I have another phone with a Telenor, and I know I'm paying more money. I know I have to change it to some other subscription. I can manage it with 50 kron, whereas I'm paying 160 kron. But it's this bias which is holding me, that it's a cost of change, and it required efforts, and I'm not doing that, even though I know it's a better for me. But small penalties is okay, but you should never do this for the big decisions. You should always realize your bias and do the changes against it. So that's status quo bias. um, I could also any questions from your side? Anything that is not clear on this one? Did you experience status quo bias? Then we'll talk about how to avoid this status quo bias.
Hari uncle,
Yep.
could you give an example, like in our real life, how we can how like status quo bias is used?
Yes. For example, mm, um, mm, I'm now thinking. So let's say you came up with some idea. Okay, you are doing some project work in your schools, or maybe you learned about investing, and you researched one idea, you liked the business model, or you liked the business, and then you ready to take a decision of investing your money. Okay, somebody else comes and says that, hey, this idea or this project work you are doing, it has this flaws, 3 4 10 flaws. And from his point of view, he thinks it's not a good idea. Okay, he tried to argue with you why it's not a good idea. And then, because we put an effort, and we spend so much time, and we are attached to our idea, whatever project work or the investing decision, we fall into this status quo bias. We don't want to change our whatever previous decision we took, and we always try to continue with the whatever decision we took and we don't want to change it. And then these flaws, whatever explained by our friends, would show up in our project execution, or when we bought this stock and then all of a sudden the company did not do well, and then we know that whatever decision we took was wrong. That would show up later. But mm, then that's too late, right? So that's one example, that we say something, we decided something and we don't want to change our mind easily. That's a status quo bias. One way to overcome is, be flexible. Don't attach too much to your ideas. Don't fall in love with your ideas, because this is very random world, dynamic world, so many variables in this world. So you can't, you should never fall in love with your ideas. That doesn't mean that you should not have a passion. You should have a passion, but uh, the ideas you have, when there are new facts comes up into the picture, you should change your ideas also. So there is a, famous quote, saying that, um, let's say you took some decision today. Okay, you took some decision because of some facts that you realized was true on that day, but after 1 month or 10 days the new facts came into the picture. Then when the new facts came into the picture, you don't need to stick to the same decision because of the status quo bias. When the new facts come to the picture, you change your decision. You would say that, okay, new information showed up, now I should change the decision. So those are the two tools I can suggest you to not fall into the status quo bias. One is, don't attach to your ideas. Don't fall in love with your ideas. It could be ideas, or it could be decisions. Don't fall into them. Oh, because I bought a house in this area, it's so good. Yeah, but if the facts changes, for example, commune increases the tax, and you got a screwed up neighborhood, you realized it after you bought the house. When new facts came into the picture, you change your decision. Okay, I thought it was a great idea to buy a house, but now after two facts, new tax in the commune and the neighborhoods around my house are not good, let me move on, by sell the house and move to the new location. So that's the life. You bought a car with the assumption you would you bought a second hand car with assumption it's a very good car, but after 6 months of you bought the car, you saw some engine breakdown. Then you realize, okay, made a decision. I made a wrong decision. Sorry, not wrong decision. You got a new fact that engine broke down. So then you move on. Decide that, okay, let me sell off this car and move to the another car, because the new fact showed up after 6 months. Engine is not working as expected. It's broke down. But I've seen people, they bought a second-hand car. After 6 months, they realized they got some problems. They continued fixing that problem for another 1 year. I told this guy, one guy I know, he bought this Ford or some US car. I'm not against any US cars. I'm just giving an example. He had some problem with the engine. He was fixing it for next 1 year. I told him, by the amount you fixed to fix that car, you would have bought another car by now. Why are you not changing? Because he has this bias that he did so much research and he selected this car. He want to prove that he doesn't want to change his mind. He fall into a trap of falling in love with his own idea. Because he did so much research, he took the decision of buying that car. He doesn't want to agree that that car is not good car and sell and buy another car. And another thing is, when you show this, this whatever you bought, a house or car or whatever, I'm just giving an example, a business, you will show this to your friends. Hey, I bought this car, look at this, I bought this house, it's a great neighborhood. And then after 6 months, when the new facts come into the picture, you don't want to go to your friends and tell that, hey, I changed my decision and I bought a new car. It's you feel bit bad. Why? How would I tell my friends? I thought I told them this is a great car, and then I'm accepting my own mistake. Yes, you need to accept your own mistake. If you follow the idea that you never fall in love with your own ideas, decisions, you would go and tell your friends, hey, I thought it was a great deal, but I realized it was a mistake. I rectified my mistake. It's very few people who can do this. Many people, above 95% of people, fall in trap that they don't want to change the previous decision. Hence, they just suffer with the whatever consequence of that decision. So I want you to learn this status quo bias. Don't fall into it. And then two tools you should use to overcome this is, don't fall in love with your ideas. Always be flexible. And the second is, when the facts changes, you change your decision. You should always tell yourself before you take any decision, when the new facts comes up. See, for example, at your age, you may have some friends, right? You thought he's the best friend I would have for life. Then the new facts comes into picture. This guy have some addictions, he has some bad habits. Then would you still want to have him as a best friend? Then you would realize, okay, I need to change my thinking, because I realize this best friend which I thought would be the best friend for my life has some shortfalls or bad habits. Let me avoid him and make somebody else as my best friend. So because you didn't know the fact that time when you took the decision that he'll be the best friend, or that will be the best house, that will be the best car, or that would be a best investment. But when you realize the new facts shows up, then you should be flexible to change your decision and idea. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So now you have a question? Okay. So these are the two tools I've been using, and it's been quite useful. I would always tell myself when I'm buying some business or buying some stock or making some decisions, I would always tell myself, hey, based on the facts I know today, I think this is the best decision, but I'm flexible. If the facts changes tomorrow, I will change my decision. I don't hesitate to change its decisions. So I would always tell myself I don't want to fall into this status quo bias, and I would always try to see, these are the tools. It has to built into your instinct. You're learning this as concepts now, but you have to imbibe them in your daily life, and you don't get this in one day. You have to um, think about them, and you have to take examples around you. Then only you would imbibe those qualities in your daily life, and that would take some time. And when you are in the real life, you don't remember status quo bias by theory. All that you remember is these tools. You would say that I would never fall into trap of my own ideas. I shouldn't. And the second thing, you would say that you would tell yourself, any decision I'm making today, I'm ready to change it if the facts changes. And you write down the facts, whatever facts you had at that time when you're taking a decision. Siri, you have a question?
Yeah, I was just thinking, there's also, referring to this picture, the yellow picture
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
have here.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also because when you're told maybe you could do this, you feel a bit more inferior, because then you're gonna be listening to someone else's advice to make yourself better.
Yes. Yes,
No, it's because you want the idea to come from yourself and not from other people to make
exactly.
it real,
Yes,
right?
that's also, yeah, that's also another angle. Definitely, yes. And that's another tool. You're right. Another tool is that the ideas need not to be come from you. If somebody offers you better idea, you could you do the analysis, and you, if it makes sense, you would adopt it. You know, you could easily steal other ideas. Nothing wrong with it as long
Yeah.
as it makes sense. Yes.
And I also think the story that you said, like the real life story,
Yeah.
I think maybe that person values his parents more and was thinking, why should I listen to somebody else's? And I still need to, uh, fulfill my parents' dream, I think. And that's why he wasn't changing, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's also one another issue in India we had back then. Now this generation, you are not into such traps, but we, when we grow up, we had such influence, parents' influence. Exactly. And he actually scold his parents when we are having party, when we drink some pigs, then he will tell his parents screwed up his life. So yes, that's true. Any other questions? Trust me, this is many elders do these mistakes, they are not aware of this. So maybe you should discuss with your parents, maybe educate them, because I know many of elders are not aware of this biases, and they still, and for you, you've been lucky that you're learning this early, so you could start observing. See, the advantage of learning these biases early is you would get so many examples in your life. By the time you become 21, 22, you have enough examples. So you don't, that doesn't guarantee you that you don't fall into this trap. At least you would avoid 80, 90% of the traps. Because all the big decisions comes when you reach 21, 22. It could be marriage, it could be buying house, profession choosing, whatever. So by the time, we hope you would be equipped with this examples in your life, and then you are well prepared for the future. That's the idea of teaching you these biases. Also in investing, when you are investing now, at this age of time, you are playing with small amounts of money. So even if you do some mistakes, you would learn the mistakes by understanding what mistakes you did. Emotional mistakes, did you fall into the bias of status quo because you told you bought this stock or bought this business, you would never sell it because you don't want to be bad about it, right? Or somebody else. So all these mistakes, by the time you reach 21, because you would be playing with big amounts that time, if you fall into trap of these biases with a big amount, it's a big loss. So do as many as mistakes at the early stage, at least observe around you, so you realize all these biases. And observation is the only way you can understand these biases. Just learning theory would not help. You need to observe, and try to see how people are falling into those biases. Okay. Any other questions before we close? Then I would just conclude it here for this week, and we will continue with. So this is one book I was recommending. So I would suggest everybody to buy this book, and it's easy to read, though it's written by PhD scholar. When you see a author PhD, you feel that, oh, he probably wrote the book with a complex jargon, but it's written in simple language and it's easy. And I would also suggest some more books for psychological biases, that would help you to understand this more in detail. Arish, you have a question?
Yes, so like 2, 3 times ago, we talked about instant and delayed gratification.
Yes.
So could you use instant and delayed gratification with like social comparison and like status quo biases?
Yes. That's it's like you need to imagine when you watch a movie, in when you are watching a scene, emotional scene or a song, how many things you think that a song influenced with. They have a right background score, they have a lyrics, they have a music happening in the background, and then the actor dressing environment. So as you all know, there are total 24 crafts in a movie, so they are all coming together, making you that scene, fantastic scene. It could be emotional scene or a great song, or it's a great scene in the movie, right? That's 24 crafts: music, way of dressing, actor expression, the background scene, situation. The 24 different crafts coming together to show you that one single scene. That's a great scene, right? Similarly, all these biological biases, forces, instant gratification, status quo bias, all these biases comes into play when you are dealing with a daily life situation. So it's not simple. You should not split them. You can't split a scene with only music angle or only actor angle. Just remove the actor dubbing voice, you would feel it's a terrible scene, because the voice is so good in this dubbing, the guy who did a dubbing for the actor. So you are exactly right, Arish. It's a combination of all. It's not one angle.
Okay, thank you.
To know. Oh, to know mic is not working. Okay. Yeah, that's Arish. That's a very good point. I don't know if this movie example I give you makes sense for you, but that's how I visualize when I look at the biases, how it's been influencing my brain. I would visualize a movie scene, how 24 different crafts are influencing particular scene. Similarly, I feel that all these biases are influencing my daily life. So it's not just one. So instant gratification working against me, at same time status quo, at same time other bias we talked about. So it's all affecting in one go. So it's not social comparison also affecting me, and system one, system two also affecting me at same time. So it's all working against me sometimes, and you need to build a shield against all those things. That's the part of the game.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay, with that, let's conclude the session here, and we will just continue our journey of understanding some more biases. And I will think I'll get some more examples, real examples, where multiple biases are being impacted. Specific situation, as Srini was explaining some time ago, my friend who fall into trap of the parents influence. I guess it's a multiple biases affecting at same time. So I would take such examples and I'll showcase, so you get the idea of how these biases would affect it at the same time. Arish, you have a question?
Yeah, just could you send the recording in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I will do. I need to upload them and then I will share. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you a good weekend, and we'll talk next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for today.
Thanks for today.